At 21:31 local time, something shifts across northern Ukraine. It doesn't start with explosions. It doesn't start with sirens. It starts with movement, quiet, coordinated, almost invisible at first. From rural highways near Chernihiv, from frozen fields that look completely empty under the night sky, and from narrow dirt strips carved between farmland, dozens of Ukrainian drones begin lifting into the air almost simultaneously. Not one, not a handful, dozens. And within minutes, that number keeps climbing. Russian radar operators don't see a raid, they see something worse, confusion. Because the screen in front of them isn't showing a clean attack pattern. It's showing a flood of signals. Some are strong, some are unstable. Some appear for seconds, disappear, and come back somewhere else entirely. And the first assumption every operator makes is simple. This is the main strike. But they're already wrong. Because the real purpose of this swarm isn't just to attack. It's to overload judgment itself. And what comes next will turn one of the most heavily defended air defense networks in the world into something far more vulnerable than it was designed to be. Within the first minutes, Russian early warning systems begin lighting up across multiple regions: Bryansk, Smolensk, and deeper rear radar sectors. Nebo SVU radar stations start feeding data into command centers, using long wavelength detection designed specifically to pick up low observable targets. On paper, this system should be reliable against small drones. But what appears on the screen is not clarity, it's chaos. Dozens of tracks are forming simultaneously. Some are stable, some flicker like noise. Others appear massive, as if cruise missiles are inbound in formation. And that's exactly what forces the decision. Air defense doctrine is simple. Engage the largest and most dangerous targets first. So Buk M2 systems activate, missile rails elevate, launchers rotate, and within seconds the night sky begins to flash with interceptors firing into the dark. Each missile costs around $1 million. Each target they are fired at is worth a fraction of that. But at this moment, no one knows what is real and what is fake. Because the swarm has already done its job. It has removed certainty. The first intercept is successful. A radar track disappears instantly, a direct hit. Operators confirm engagement. But when the debris analysis comes in seconds later, something doesn't add up. The target was too light, too fragile, too simple. It wasn't a missile. It was a decoy drone designed to look like one. And that's when the pattern begins to emerge. More intercepts, more successful hits, more confirmations, but fewer actual threats removed. Because the majority of those high-value targets are not weapons at all. They are decoys engineered to trigger exactly this response. Some use radar reflectors that artificially inflate their size on screens. Others are shaped and coded to mimic cruise missile signatures. A few are just simple foam airframes designed to create false urgency. And every single one of them is doing its job perfectly. Each interception drains another missile from Russian air defense batteries. Each launch reduces readiness for the next wave. And the real strike group hasn't even been fully detected yet. While radar operators focus on the largest and most convincing returns, smaller drones begin slipping through the gaps in coverage. These are not the decoys. These are the actual strike platforms. They fly lower, slower, and deliberately stay inside terrain shadows where radar coverage weakens. From above, they are nearly invisible. From below, they are just faint noise in the sky, and that is exactly what makes them dangerous. Because every attention system on the Russian side is now focused upward, at the decoys that are still burning interceptors out of the sky. The real attackers are moving underneath the entire defensive layer, and now they are crossing deeper into Russian airspace. As the swarm penetrates further inland, the problem shifts from detection to endurance. Because now the drones are not just surviving interception attempts, they are surviving distance. Hundreds of kilometers stretch between them and their target zones. At 150 kilometers per hour cruising speed, the flight is long, slow, and exposed. 6 hours in the air. 6 hours where anything can go wrong. Wind changes, navigation drift, fuel consumption errors, electronic interference, and Russia knows this. So the second phase of defense activates. 2 Su-35S fighters are scrambled from Western air bases. These are not interceptors designed for drones. These are high-speed air superiority fighters built for combat against other aircraft. But they are now being used for something far more frustrating: hunting targets that are smaller than their radar resolution in cluttered terrain. At high altitude, their radar systems scan vast regions of airspace. But the drones are not at high altitude. They are hugging the ground, flying just above treetops, rivers, and uneven terrain. And that creates a problem, because radar doesn't just see targets, it sees everything. Trees, buildings, heat sources, reflections. the battlefield becomes noise. So the pilots switch to infrared tracking systems. Now they are searching for heat instead of radar returns. But the sky below is full of heat signatures. Villages, roads, machinery, even natural thermal differences in terrain. And somewhere inside that noise is a small fiberglass drone burning a tiny gasoline engine. It is like trying to find a single candle in a city at night, while moving at supersonic speed. The engagement turns chaotic. The fighters descend to visual range to confirm targets. Now speed becomes a disadvantage. At low altitude, every maneuver is dangerous. Every turn risks collision with terrain. And every second spent tracking a drone burns fuel and increases exposure. Cannon fire bursts into the sky. Missiles are launched into low-altitude pursuit. Some drones are destroyed instantly. Others continue flying without reacting at all, because they don't know they are being hunted. There is no pilot, no warning system, no defensive maneuvering, just a programmed path and a burning engine. And that makes them incredibly hard to stop. Meanwhile, deep inside Russian territory, electronic warfare systems begin their second layer of defense. GPS jamming activates across wide frequency bands. Satellite navigation signals begin to collapse. For many drones, this would normally mean immediate failure. But these drones are not relying on a single system. They switch to inertial navigation. Gyroscopes begin tracking movement. Onboard systems calculate position based on speed and direction over time. And at first, it works. But inertia is not perfect. Small errors begin to accumulate. A fraction of a degree here, a slight drift there. Over minutes, it is nothing. Over hours, it becomes distance. And now, across the swarm, paths begin to diverge slightly. Some drones are still on course. Others are drifting off by hundreds of meters. And nobody on either side has full control anymore. Then comes spoofing. False GPS signals are introduced into the system. Not silence, but deception. Some drones begin receiving perfect-looking navigation data that is completely false. You are here, when they are not. Some systems accept it immediately. Others cross-check with terrain mapping systems and reject it. And the swarm splits again. One version of reality leads toward the target. Another leads away from it. And neither side can fully correct it in real time. Because by now, the battlefield is too large, too fast, and too electronically saturated to control precisely. As the surviving drones approach their final phase, they descend toward terrain features that can guide them visually. Rivers, roads, elevation changes, anything that can be matched against stored maps. Russian air defenses near strategic infrastructure are now fully activated. Pantsir systems are repositioned. Buk batteries are moved into valley corridors. Short-range machine guns and thermal tracking units are placed along expected approach paths. This is no longer a distant engagement. This is a close-range defense battle. Seconds matter now, not minutes. The first intercepts begin just kilometers from the target. Missiles fire at extreme close range. Machine guns open up in synchronized bursts. Tracer fire cuts across the night sky in sweeping arcs. Some drones are destroyed seconds before impact. Others slip through gaps created by timing, angle, or slight navigational drift caused hours earlier. And now they are in terminal phase, locked onto heat signatures, fuel tanks, storage facilities, infrastructure, nodes. There is no course correction anymore, only descent. At impact, everything accelerates instantly. Fuel tanks rupture and ignite. Oil storage facilities erupt into towering fire columns. Secondary explosions ripple through connected infrastructure. Smoke rises over the horizon in dense black clouds. Emergency systems activate immediately, but containment becomes the priority over suppression, because the damage is already spreading faster than crews can respond. But the most important outcome is not the destruction itself. It is how it happened. A layered system was built to stop exactly this kind of attack. Radar detection, air defense missiles, fighter interception, electronic warfare, GPS disruption, short-range defense grids. And yet, pieces of the swarm still made it through every layer. Not because one system failed, but because every system was forced into reacting to something designed to overload all of them at once. In the end, this wasn't just a drone strike. It was a systems test. A stress test of modern air defense under saturation conditions. And the result is not defined by explosions. It is defined by imbalance. Expensive interceptors against cheap drones. Advanced radar against engineered deception. High-speed fighters against low-cost autonomous flight paths. And electronic warfare fighting against systems that adapt in real time. Because the real lesson of this attack isn't about firepower, it's about economics. Who can afford to keep reacting, and who can afford to keep forcing reactions? And in that kind of conflict, the side that controls cost per decision controls the battlefield long before the first explosion ever happens.
If this kept you on the edge of your seat, subscribe for more real-world military breakdowns. Like the video, and I'll see you in the next one.